Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. What we're listening to, this is Shadow of Fear. It's a band from Cleveland. This is from 1985, and the song playing is Puppet Life. It's kind of goth sounding, really good. What more can I say? Shadow of Fear from Cleveland. So turn this down. So today's video is just going to be some random pulls from Discogs. I just pulled out a bunch of stuff from 60s, 70s, 80s. So just going to jump right into it. And first up, this is The Pretty Things, We Want Your Love. This is Holland Press. It's a reissue of the Pretty Things album, Get the Picture. This is reissued in 1967. The original album was from 1965, and this is, like I said, a Holland 1967 reissue. But really good stuff, like British blues, R&B, similar to like the early Rolling Stones and Animals, things like that. But some of the songs on here is like Buzz the Jerk, Get the Picture, Raining in My Heart, I Had a Dream, I Want Your Love, Gonna Find Me a Substitute. All of it's really good. If you like that style of early Rolling Stones and Animals and stuff, check out this album, Pretty Things. Great stuff. And up next, this is Buffalo Springfield again. This is their second album from 1968. Great stuff on here. Neil Young's most psychedelic song, Mr. Soul, is on here. Also, Expecting to Fly, Bluebird is really good. Rock and Roll Woman and Broken Arrow. It's great stuff from Buffalo Springfield. This is a British press from the, I think, maybe like mid to late 70s, and it's on the, as you can see there, it's on the Atlantic label instead of Atco. But yeah, great stuff from Buffalo Springfield. And they do this dedication to all these people on here. Some of the people they name: Otis Redding, Hank Williams, Ricky Nelson, Frank Zappa, Jimi Hendrix, Burt Jantz, Buddy Miles, Judy Collins, Chip Douglas, who was a record producer, Jim Messina, Richie Havens, Pete Seeger, Chuck Berry, all kinds of people on mentioned on the back cover there. But great album from Buffalo Springfield, their second album from 1968, Buffalo Springfield again. And up next, this is the Climax Blues Band, A Lot of Bottle. This originally came out in 1970, and this is a 1976 reissue on Sire Records. It's the U.S. press. But really good British blues. They do like stuff similar in style to like John Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters, stuff like that. But some of the songs that, most of these are original songs though, but they are kind of made to sound like old blues songs. But really good stuff. Songs like Reap What I've Sowed, Morning, Noon, and Night, Long Lovin' Man, Seventh Son, Louisiana Blues, all really good stuff from Climax Blues Band. Really good. If you don't know about this band and you like the British blues rock sound, check these guys out. They're really good. Similar to like Savoy Brown, early Fleetwood Mac. So up next we have Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. This is probably like my favorite Bob Dylan song or album. This has Like a Rolling Stone on it. It's like great song, and Al Cooper plays organ on that, keyboards, and he really makes that song with the keyboards on there. But great stuff, like besides Like a Rolling Stone, the Tombstone Blues, It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Crane to Cry, Ballad of a Thin Man, that's a great song. Highway 61 Revisited, Just Like Tom Thumb Blues, Desolation Row, all of it is really good. Like I said, this has got to be like my favorite Bob Dylan album. I really like his early stuff the best. I mean, I like his 70s, some of the 70s albums he did, but then it's kind of touch and go for me. But this album, I love this album. It's a great album from Bob Dylan. Highway 61 Revisited. And up next, this is Classic Ono Band, live piece in Toronto, 1969. This came out in 1970. It's on the Apple Records. Most people probably know about this album. It's there was a rock and roll revival in Toronto in 1969, and there was all kinds of people there. The Doors were there, Alice Cooper, those people, and then like old rock and rollers like Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, Eddie Cochran, you know, just a lot of people. But there's also there's a documentary about this, and it's called Revival 69. That I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen commercials for it, and I'd like to check it out. But this is a great album. It's got Eric Clapton on guitar, Klaus Voormann on bass, along with John and Yoko and Alan White on drums. But they do great songs: Blue Suede Shoes, Money, Dizzy Miss Lizzie, Your Blues. And Your Blues makes a reference to the Bob Dylan song from this album, Ballad of a Thin Man. If you know, where he says the line, just like Dylan's Mr. Jones. But yeah, it's a great song. The only thing I don't like about this album is one whole side is Yoko, called Don't Worry Kyoko, Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow. So, but side one is really worth owning this album for. There's great performances of Cold Turkey and Give Peace a Chance, but great stuff. This originally came with a calendar for 1971, and I bought this used, so I didn't get the calendar. But great album from John Lennon, Classic Ono Band, live piece in Toronto, 1969. And up next, this is The Who, My Generation. The Who Sings My Generation from 1965. This is a U.S. press on Decca Records. Yeah, this is really good. This is their first album. Contains a song, of course, My Generation. Probably at this time they were best known for that song. But other stuff like Out in the Street, I Don't Mind, The Good's Gone, that's a really great song. La 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 Lies, Much Too Much, The Kids Are Alright, that's a great Townsend song. Please, 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 which is a cover of a James Brown song. The Ox, and Legal Matter. Legal Matter is a great song. But yeah, The Who sing My Generation from 1965, their debut album. up next, moving into the 70s, this is Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. This is the last album that includes Ozzy Osbourne. This is from 1978. Some people say this is like their weakest album with the original lineup, but I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, it's not as great as their first 3 or 4, but it's still pretty good. Songs like Never Say Die, Junior's Eyes is pretty good, Shockwave, Air Dance, Swinging the Chain is great stuff from Black Sabbath. Later period, like the last part of the original lineup, but yeah, not too shabby. Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. And up next, we got, this is the Offspring, Smash. This originally came out in 1994, and this is a 2008 reissue on Epitaph Records. This is the only album I have by this band. It's really the only album I like by them. This is great punk rock, kind of more commercial than your usual earlier punk rock, but great songs on here. Bad Habit, Gotta Get Away, Come Out and Play, Keep Them Separated, that was a big hit off of this. Self-Esteem is really good. Killboy Powerhead, Not the One, and Smash. But great stuff from Offspring. They had a couple albums out before this, I think, but this is the one that catapulted them into a wider audience. But yeah, great stuff from the Offspring. Smash from 1994. And up next, this is Manfred Mann, The Mighty Quinn, from 1968. Really good kind of psych pop songs like, of course, the title song, The Mighty Quinn. It was written by Bob Dylan, and they do the best version of that song that I've ever heard, because I just love that song. But they also do like Ha Ha Said the Clown, Every Day Another Hair Turns Gray, Country Dancing, Semi-Detached Suburban Mr. James, The Vicar's Daughter, Each and Every Day is a great song, great 60s pop song. And last song on here, No Better No Worse. But really good stuff from Manfred Mann from 1968, The Mighty Quinn. And up next, this is Traffic, Mr. Fantasy. This was their first album, their first U.S. album. I think when this first came out, it was originally titled Heaven is in Your Mind. And then for some reason, they just changed the title to Mr. Fantasy. But yeah, great stuff. This is Traffic's psychedelic period. This album originally came out in 1968. This is, I believe it's a mid to late 70s reissue. Yeah, it's in 1978. But yeah, it's got like a older inner sleeve. So yeah, but great stuff from Traffic, and when they were in their psychedelic phase. Just really good album, Traffic, Mr. Fantasy. And up next, this is some power pop with the PLM Souls. This was their first release called 0 Hour. This came out in 1980 on Backlash Records. But really good stuff. Like I said, power pop. Songs like Great Big World, 0 Hour, Hypnotize, How Long Will It Take, I Can't Turn You Loose. but really good stuff. This includes Peter Case, who went on to do some solo work, and really good stuff though. The PLM Souls, 0 Hour. And up next, this is the Hoodoo Gurus, Blow Your Cool. This was, I think, their 3rd album from 1987. Kind of a little bit power pop, jangle pop type sounds. Very commercial sounding. Songs like In the Middle of the Land, Come On, My Caravan, On My Street, Party Machine, Out That Door, What's My Scene, that's a great song. Good Times, I Was the One, Hell for Leather, all of it's pretty good. If you like the Hoodoo Gurus, like I said, they got a jangly pop sound, but pretty good stuff. The Hoodoo Gurus, Blow Your Cool. And up next, this is Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This was their 3rd album called Trilogy. This 1972 is when this came out. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Lots of classical influences thanks to Keith Emerson. They do a song called Hoedown, which is taken from Rodeo by Aaron Copland. But all the other stuff on here, I think, is all original song. But my favorite song on here is From the Beginning. I think that was released as a single. But kind of on a mellow side, like I said, classical music influence. But still great stuff from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And a couple more here. Up next, this is Dr. Feelgood, Down by the Jetty. These guys were like pub rock band from the mid-70s. This album came out in 1975. It was recorded in mono for the authentic sound. But yeah, great stuff on here. Roxette, One Weekend, That Ain't the Way to Behave, I Don't Mind, 20 Yards Behind, All Through the City, Keep It Out of Sight, and they do a cover of Boney Maroney and Tequila. But great pub rock, kind of a almost punky sound to it. But Wilco Johnson, great guitarist, just really good stuff. Dr. Feelgood, Down by the Jetty. And the last one here, this is Free, Tons of Sobs. I believe this is their 1st album, and originally it was released in 1970, and this is like a late 70s reissue. It's on the Island Records label, but great stuff. Kind of bluesy. Paul Kossoff, guitarist on here, is just so good. But the songs on here are like Over the Green Hills, Part 1, Worry, Walk in My Shadow, Wild Indian Woman, I'm a Mover is really good. Moonshine, Sweet Tooth, and Over the Hills Part 2. But great stuff from Free. I believe, like I said, I believe it's their 1st album. Just really good, hard blues-based rock. So there you go. 15 random albums from my collection. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. And thanks to everyone who subscribed in the last couple of weeks. Thanks to everyone who leaves comments. And I guess that'll be it for this week. And take care, BC. We'll see you next week.